Time for us to get into our conversation, and tonight we are featuring a story that shows us the power of creativity without boundaries. Now, under the KZN Films on Global Stages banner, the KwaZulu Natal filmmakers are taking South African stories to audiences across the world, from Finland to India to the Netherlands. And so we continue our streak of KZN proving to bring about a level of excellence that the world needs to see. Now, at the center of this journey is Six Sense, a 27-minute long hybrid documentary funded by the KZN Tourism and Film Authority and supported by Africa Number One Filter and the British Council. Directed by Chris Ketz and Amilaka Patel, Six Sense tells a story of our guest who joins us this evening. This is DJ Mxshi Mo, a visually impaired music producer from Pompeni in KwaZulu-Natal. His story takes us on a beautiful sonic journey that starts off in Township Studios and ends off on global stages at festivals. And so we are going to be understanding how he redefines music and understanding, and how technology has given him the ability to really wow the world. DJ Mxshi joins us on the line. Good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to African Diaries.
Hi, thank you for having me.
It's quite the journey. I get extremely excited when I hear stories like this, right? Because I was reading up a bit on you, and something to the effect of you tangibly experiencing sound was something that sort of just busted my brain open, you know? And I want to gauge you on that. What does sound mean to you? And if you could, speak to us about the reality, how sound has become tangible to you.
Basically, sound to me is sight. It's basically how I make sense of everything. Um, and this whole exploration of sound has actually helped me find a different voice. We take it for granted, our environment, but there's just a whole lot going on in the environment. If you come down and actually listen, you realize that the environment has a lot to say. So for me, sight has become a sixth sense in a way. It sort of has replaced my sight in a way.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's talk about how you then interact with music. I want to
Okay.
gauge what's the interaction between you and music like?
Um, Basically, it started off as a way of escaping because I couldn't really go out at night because I have a visual impairment called retinitis pigmentosa. One of the symptoms is that there's a lack of night vision. So it was more of an escape, always having that hunger of, of going to the club, but not really being able to go to the club. So I sort of created a sound and a world as to what it would be like, if the club would actually come to me instead of the other way around. So it was just more of an escapism more than anything else. Um,
And let's talk about how Sixth Sense captures your storyline. For those who perhaps won't have an opportunity to gauge the story as it currently stands, what are they to expect?
Okay, basically, Six Sense just captures my daily life as a visually impaired electronic music producer. It starts from the very beginning when I discovered that I had a visual impairment, and to the present time, which is now, where during this journey of discovering and trying to find easier ways of creating music, because remember, softwares are not really optimized for visually impaired people. So it has been trial and error, trying to find a way around that as well, which led me to do research with regards to accessibility features when it comes to music production softwares, because they are built into softwares, but they don't really advertise them.
Let's talk about music.
Yes,
Right. I can imagine that that's what the club scene in KZN looks like. That's the feel, that's the groove. What drew
yes.
you to music as a whole?
Um, what drew me to GOM was the whole DIY spirit because the first time I ever heard a GOM song was in a DIY studio. It was just computer speakers, and a DJ friend of mine actually showed me how to operate the software. So that was just my first introduction. It's sort of like that DIY spirit, punk rock, grungy. So what led me to it was that it was still new. It was still a lot to be done and experimented with. Whereas with other genres, it's sort of locked. You can't really do much because there's like set standard. But with Gom, it was still new. We were all experimenting at the time.
And DJ, what does it mean for you to see this particular documentary, Sixth Sense, travel not just across the continent but the globe at large? What does that say to you? What does it say about you? What does it say for you?
Um, it's very overwhelming, but in a very good way. I like the fact that finally awareness is gonna be created with regards to visual impairment. And I'm actually fortunate that I get the opportunity to actually express this in 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 a cinematic format, whereas other people that suffer from visual impairment might never get that opportunity. So it really means a lot to me, and I'm quite honored.
And then DJ, I mean, I was gonna try and get you to play something for us, but then time is not on our side tonight. However, we should have you back so that you can give us that KZN flavor. For those who are looking to step into the business of the creative arts. However, they
Yes.
do feel to an extent that I'm limited. It might not be a disability that we are cognizant of it, or for them, it might feel like there are limitations that draw them back. What would you say to them as somebody who's not only pioneering the space, but is also setting a new tone to the narrative?
I would say bet on yourself. Yeah, just bet on yourself and believe in yourself as well. You really have to believe, because it's pointless doing all the research, learning all these tutorials, and not believing that you can actually achieve it. So you really have to believe in it first and foremost, and then also be knowledgeable about the craft that you want to get into, know the history, know the legends in the game.
Absolutely. Let's talk about where we can get to know you, Mr. Legend. Where do we see you play? What's going on? Should we be expecting you on stages soon? What's happening?
Um, I'm, I'll be attending ADC, Audio Developer Conference in Bristol, from the 10th of November till the 13th. There's also going to be a screening of the film Sixth Sense. I'll be speaking at a panel with regards to accessibility in the audio developer community. So I'll also be doing a screening in London as well, and as well as performing in London and Bristol from the 7th of November till the 14th of November. Yeah.
Not you giving us international spaces, something inside of Africa. No, nothing booked. No, are you not booked and busy in the continent? No.
No, not, yeah. With regards to the continent, everything's still in the pipeline. Yeah. But I think when I come back from Bristol, I might do an event in Durban. I'm not sure yet.
Bo, you were supposed to say I might do an event at Channel Africa. Doctor. Aye, Doctor of
Yeah, we
Music.
can.
We
We
should
can
do
make it
that.
happen. We can make
Please.
it happen.
We are here for
Yes.
your music. So thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate, firstly, you bringing your story forth to inspire others, but also you going across the globe and proving that the African continent has so much to give, and the world hasn't seen us yet.
Yes.
That is the voice of DJ Mxshi Mo joining us this evening, visually impaired music producer and the individual at the heart of Six Sense, a documentary funded by the KZN Tourism and Film Authority and celebrated around the world for its message of creativity without barriers. It is 7 minutes before the show comes to an end. A quick breather, then we touch base with Morris Touch.